Well, welcome to Backstage with Geoffrey Morrissey. I am Geoffrey Morrissey. We're here at the beautiful House of Blues for the first night of Mutemath's tour. Paul from that band is joining me now. Paul, how are you today?
Yeah, I'm great.
So it's the start of tour. There are so many different sort of moving parts. We really do appreciate you making the time because I know it's always a crazy day on the first one.
My pleasure.
But what is your biggest concern when you start a tour? Is it creating the set list, seeing how these songs translate live, forgetting the words? What's going through your head first night?
Just don't have a train wreck.
Don't have a train wreck.
Yeah, that's all. And most of the time we don't. But yeah, it's getting everything to fire together for the first time, you know, with all the production, everyone's parts, and just but it's okay. You get in go mode. It's just don't stop no matter what happens. I remember we did this video, the video for Typical. I don't know if you remember that one. That was the reverse video. That was great training just to be in a show. Or maybe it was the shows that trained us for that video, because this is what happened. It's a one-take video. And so the thing is, when we press record and everything starts firing off and we're breaking things, and it's like, whatever happens, don't stop. That's the thing. Mm-hmm. Even if your arm gets amputated, just keep going, because it'll look great in reverse.
Yeah.
So that was the thing. It's just we couldn't stop no matter what happened. So that's what happens when lights go down in show number one. You just get in go mode, and you just pray there's no train wreck. Nothing gets amputated along the way.
And you seem to have a good success with no amputations thus far in the touring career.
I just jinxed it, didn't I?
Yeah,
Great.
Exactly. We're gonna have a horror story from here on out.
Oh man. Well, good news is our new drummer is a paramedic.
All right, well, there you go. There you go. Total bonus. The last time I saw you guys, it was when you were actually in Boston touring with 21 Pilots, which good friends of our show, really awesome guys, but they have the most rabid fan base that I think I've ever encountered. So what was it like getting the chance to tour with them, work with them? Have you noticed like a lot of 21 Pilots fans coming over?
Well, it's such a very distinct community, and we felt very honored to be sort of welcomed into it. It's amazing, what has kind of got created. And, we really hit it off with those guys. Their fans were very, very kind to us. And, I think we made some friends for life in that clique.
And then you guys also were sort of both early in the careers pigeonholed into that whole Christian rock kind of thing. So I feel like the parallels that you guys shared and intersected, it's really kind of interesting. It's like one generation and the other. At least how I viewed it.
Okay. The mantle of the pigeonhole, yes. We bonded.
And then you guys sort of did this cool EP with them where you played around with some of their songs. If you could invite anyone to sort of like play around with the Mutemath EP or album, cover one, who would you want to see take a crack at one of your records?
Tyler?
Actually. Yeah, I
would like
I
to
can
see
hear
what
it.
he would do. I feel like he owes us one too.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what I would do. I'd call him up. All right, man. I want you to try now.
Tyler,
take some of these Mutemath songs.
And that would be one that I would love to listen to. But all of your sort of, whether it's the live show or the album art, it's just sort of visually stunning, which is like one of the sort of hallmark features of your band, in my opinion. But how do you sort of make up for the loss of the album booklet when people are going through Spotify and they're not necessarily holding a record or holding a CD? I saw that you guys did something cool and kind of posted this really nice lyric sheet to the Facebook page. Right. So how do you sort of stay engaged with the graphics even though that hardcover CD is going away?
I'm trying to just embrace that it's just a new medium. It's a new way to experience music, which I'm actually coming around to, Mm-hmm. The old-fashioned guy in me was just like, bucking against it for a while. But now I actually prefer to devour music like that and be able to just kind of go through it on my phone, and just whatever visuals come up with it is nice. It's nice to have. I'm all for it. I think we've just been trying to find our way into it and how we can just kind of bring something special to it. But I'm enjoying that. I have no beefs.
Nice. So I was reading somewhere that Play Dead was a record that was 5 years in the making, which sort of walked me through that, because you guys did release albums in the meantime, just sort of along that timeline. So how was this one 5 years sort of in your head?
Well, a lot of it started right when we finished Odd Soul. And we got this place in New Orleans on Oak Street, and we started just writing a ton of songs. And the first group of songs we knew were special, but we didn't know what to do with them. We just kind of got the idea out, and we're like, but that's not what we want to do next. So we just shelved a whole bunch of songs and just kept writing past that. As we kept writing, that's when we found Vitals, and that's the type of record we wanted to make next. But once we finished Vitals, the type of record we were craving to do after that, which became Play Dead, was a lot of the ideas that we had started 5 years ago. We went back to a lot of those ideas, and all of a sudden, the light bulb lit up. And we're like, now we know what to do. Now we know what lyrics to write. We know how to put it all together. So the majority of songs that are on Play Dead were very cryptic ideas that had started about 5 years ago. And we just finally knew how to finish them in the past year and wrote a few more to go with it.
See, and that's one of the things that I find really interesting is that, it's a follow-up to Vitals, which sort of implies life. And then the next album is Play Dead. So you must have sort of been aware of, at least in the title, sort of the compare and contrast to those two records.
Sure. And I think it's both, very overtly about life, but from two different angles, And Play Dead became more about, the darker approach to how we find a renewed sense of life. It's kind of summed up in the last song, Marching to the End, right? And then the idea of Play Dead, as this sort of primal means to preserve your life, which is actually projecting death, right? So the thing that's trying to kill you doesn't. So you act like you're dead so you can keep living. And so that became a very overt picture for all of the 10 songs that were in the album and just coming at it from different angles.
Huh. I really like that way of looking at sort of both that record and those two records sort of in conjunction.
Yeah, they're definitely siblings.
And they're siblings in another sense. This is the second record that you released on your own label of Wotech, correct?
Yeah.
So how was it different the second time around? What did you learn from putting out that first record with your own label that you could sort of apply to the second in sort of that whole business end of things?
That we can do it.
Yeah.
And we had some sense of confidence now. Like, let's up our game a little bit. We can do this. And so this record, Play Dead, actually became the first album that we've ever recorded as a band where there were no outside collaborators. Like we just kind of really empowered each other to believe we could do it on our own from start to finish. And our management, who essentially runs the record company, we had kind of had this sort of dry run at it all through Vitals. And so we were all, I think we had more of a game plan on how to attack this new one. So it was fun to go at it with a little experience this time.
Nice. So it's sort of in between the album release and this tour, there was a little bit of a lineup shift. Yeah. So have you thought about how sort of the Darren's exit from the band, how that's going to affect future records, or are you just taking this day by day at this point?
Yeah, I'm really staying focused on the moment that we have. I'm trying not concern myself with any predictions of the future, because if there's one thing this year has taught me is that's a waste of energy. When we started this new year, I would have never thought in a million years that 6 months later, the reality we're in is what would happen. But it did happen, and I'm finding a way to be actually very appreciative for how this is all unfolding, and I'm trying to really continue that through we have 6 weeks on this tour in front of us, and that's as far as I'm allowing myself to think, because my MO at this point is to be completely immersed and engaged in the moment of just having 6 weeks to tour with some good friends. And this may be the last one we'll ever do, and that's fine. Let's enjoy this while we have it. And I'm really proud of the album that we just put out, which I didn't realize in hindsight was going to probably potentially be the last one with Darren. And I don't know if it will be, but the odds are it probably will be. And I find myself even that much more thankful for the album we do have, and I'm really proud of the work we did. And so this tour is really about honoring all that. And not just Darren, but Roy and Greg, who are also past members. I feel that much more appreciative for the body of work that those guys helped bring to life over the years that we're going to get to play tonight. And sing with a bunch of people. That's an amazing thing.
And then so again, it's sort of been like, as you said, a year that you didn't expect, and you're looking down the pike of 6 weeks of tour. It's a lot. So how do you keep that positivity? How is that something that you always sort of keep steady in your diet?
Well, I love what I do, and the opportunity to get to go on a stage and sing songs that you are part of helping to create with a room of people that want to sing along with you is an unbelievable thing. And shows become sort of reunions with really this extended family that's just kind of been brought together through the bloodline of Mutemath, really, whatever that's meant to us all through the years. And getting to see a lot of familiar faces again, will be in the crowd. And as we've kind of grown up together, I mean, we've been a band now almost 15 years. And so, I'll see some of the people that I met for the first time on the debut album tour, signing the CD, we shaking hands, we're thanking them for coming to the show. And you just don't realize that maybe 10 years later, they'll still be there. They'll still be showing up. And now they're bringing their kid, and y'all have had kids together, and you've gone through this arc of life with a community of people. And these songs that we're singing have kind of helped narrate to us. I think it brings us together, and that becomes the foundation of happiness and a sense of fulfillment through these next 6 weeks.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, I don't want to keep you from playing what is going to be an awesome show tonight. If you don't have tickets to this Mutemath tour, go online right now and get some. But this will be my last question for you. Who are you listening to right now? Who has your ear?
I've been listening to The National. They just put out a new record as well. And so I've gotten to go through that record 2 times. And I feel like the magic number for me with The National has always been listen to the album 5 times. And then I'm that kind of fan that likes to just really devour it, because I feel like those guys do stuff that's just so dense. And so I'm on time number 2 right now. I'm looking forward to when I get to number. That's usually when the heavens open.
Yes.
And the transcendence of a national album gets to happen. So I'm stoked about it.
The National is my favorite band, so I have to ask, fan to fan, what is your favorite record by The National?
I mean, High Violet was an unbelievable moment. And it hit me at a certain time in my life where it just rattled me. So that one always going to hold a special place.
Yeah, Vinderlyle, Crybaby Geeks is a closing song to any record. I just don't think that you can think of one better than that.
That's true. No, you're right. You're right. They own it.
Well, perfect. And if you're not listening to Play Dead by Mutemath, then damn it, you should be. Paul, thank you so much for the time today, and have a wonderful tour.
Yep. Cheers, Geoffrey.